Hey, football fans, welcome back to my channel. And today we have to talk about free agency part 2. So, this is technically the second week of the new league year. And we have a couple of big trades that had happened last week. And one of them was pretty shocking because we didn't think that this quarterback was going to go to this team. I'm talking about Deshaun Watson going to the Cleveland Browns. And the reason I say that we did not think he was going to go was because the original teams that were bidding for Deshaun Watson were the Atlanta Falcons, the New Orleans Saints, the Carolina Panthers, and of course the Browns. However, the Browns were actually taken out the list early on. But then on Friday, the Cleveland Browns were then announced as the destination for Deshaun Watson. We're not sure what happened, but what I could think probably happened was that when Baker Mayfield had heard that the Browns were interested in trading for Watson, he probably felt demoralized and he had requested a trade which the Browns denied. So the Browns must have realized that by alienating Baker Mayfield, they risk losing their number one overall pick. And so they needed to put all the cards on the table. They needed to sell the farm so they could get Watson, and they even offered Watson a new big contract that was fully guaranteed. He has $230 million guaranteed in that contract, so that is the highest guaranteed contract in NFL history. Before that, it was Rodgers last week, and then before that, it was Josh Allen, and then last year, it was Dak Prescott. So the question is, who won that trade? And to be honest, you could say it's a tie really by both teams. While it looks like the Browns might have won because now they have the last piece of their puzzle, they have the quarterback that could lead the Browns to the playoffs, you could also say the Texans won, primarily because the Texans received 3 first-round picks over the next 3 years from the Cleveland Browns, which is a really big deal. The Cleveland Browns have Deshaun Watson, they have Amari Cooper as their wide receiver, they have David Njoku, Kareem Hunt, and Nick Chubb. Hunt and Chubb are the two dynamic duo running backs. I am still surprised that Kareem Hunt is still with the Browns. I'm not saying that he is a really good running back, but whenever he gets the ball, he is really difficult to tackle. Anything he touches turns to gold. Nick Chubb is one of the most consistent running backs that I have seen over the last 4 years, and I'm really confident that the Browns, now that they have Deshaun Watson, who, while he hasn't played in a year, he is still one of the strongest armed and most iron-willed quarterbacks in modern football, in the current generation of football. Deshaun Watson has as good of an arm as Patrick Mahomes, maybe not as good, but still pretty good. He has amazing scrambling ability. He can just find the open holes, escape the pocket, escape the pressure, find an open receiver. This is the new generation of quarterbacks that we've been talking about. These quarterbacks that are just throwing bombs down the field and completing them. Deshaun Watson is one of them, and now the Cleveland Browns have one of those quarterbacks. Now, a question that everybody's asking is, where does Baker Mayfield go from here? And to be honest, it's going to be pretty difficult because Mayfield, he is a good quarterback. He is a leader. He will do everything he can to win. He played through an injury last year, and he shows that he has a good arm. He has good accuracy. He has a great personality with the players. The players do love him. And so it depends really on who needs a quarterback right now. And there are a couple of teams that are in need of a quarterback. It's just a matter of whether or not they're willing to have Baker Mayfield, because the whole requesting a trade after the whole Deshaun Watson bid war really did demoralize Baker. And so NFL teams are going to take a look into consideration of that, and that'll be a deciding factor on whether or not they want to trade for Baker Mayfield. Mayfield still has 1 more year with the Browns on his current 5th-year option. So this means that at some point the Browns are going to have to trade him, otherwise they're just going to be burning money. Okay, so now with Deshaun Watson gone, that's pretty much the big story. Let's go ahead and go over to the next big story, which is Aaron Rodgers' favorite receiver, Devonta Adams, has been traded to the Las Vegas Raiders for a 1st and a 2nd round pick of this year. So Derek Carr is going to get a wide receiver that he needs. He has Darren Waller, who is a formidable tight end. Really good with the vertical and great route runner. Josh Jacobs is a consistent running back, and so the offense is now nearly complete. The question is Davante Adams good enough for Derek Carr? Is he good enough to make Derek Carr good? Because we all remember when Jordy Nelson left for the Raiders, and that relationship did not really last that well. Now, Davante Adams, I bet you he's really happy because he's playing with his college teammate Derek Carr. He's already got a house in Las Vegas, and the Raiders signed him to a $28 million a year deal, which makes him the highest paid wide receiver in the National Football League, beating DeAndre Hopkins by less than $1 million. So Adams is going to try and do his best. He is not going to have Aaron Rodgers, however, as his BFF. And what I mean by BFF, I mean as in his go-to quarterback. So it's going to be a new change for Davante Adams. We'll see if he's able to adjust and be able to do good without Rodgers. All right, so now a couple of more free agency signings that I was pretty shocked about. One of them was Von Miller, the former Super Bowl 50 MVP. He had just finished winning another Super Bowl with the Los Angeles Rams, and it did not look like he was going to be able to come back because he was probably going to be asking for a lot of money. There were rumors that Von Miller might go to the Dallas Cowboys, primarily because he's from DeSoto, Texas, so he's really near there. The Cowboys were thinking about getting him. However, it looks like that was not going to happen because the day after those rumors, Von Miller signs with the Buffalo Bills, and it's a 6-year, $120 million deal. His first 4 years, he's going to get paid $17.5 million a year. This is going to be really good for the Bills defense because the Bills defense is already formidable enough. Imagine adding Von Miller, the sack master, on your team. That's just going to make things a lot more painful for anybody going against the Buffalo Bills. All right. So this wasn't a free agency signing. This was more of an extension, but a really important one. Matthew Stafford signs a 4-year extension worth $160 million, so he will get paid roughly $40 million a year, just as Dak Prescott does. This is after winning the Super Bowl with the Los Angeles Rams, and so Stafford, it looks like he is ready and motivated to continue on and be the signal caller for the Rams. He has a terrific arm. Matthew Stafford has so many years of experience, and I bet you that with that Super Bowl win, he is just so happy to be with Los Angeles. The team is still well built, even though Robert Woods is no longer with the Rams. They still have Cooper Kupp. The Rams just signed Allen Robinson, so that'll help out their offense a lot more. They will need to address the left tackle spot with their blindside blocker, Andrew Whitworth, retiring, but that could be resolved in the draft. All right, guys, 2 more important signings. One of them is Chris Godwin, who signs a 3-year deal roughly worth $60 million. Chris Godwin was a terrific wide receiver for the Buccaneers. In that year, he played really well with Tom Brady, and Brady did love him. Unfortunately, Godwin's season ended with a torn ACL. Otherwise, the offense probably could have done better against the Rams in the playoffs. There were rumors that Godwin was not going to be able to come back because they were not going to be able to afford him. However, it looks like they were able to adjust the contract to where the Buccaneers can afford Chris Godwin without paying too much money. And I bet you it helps a lot as well that Brady is back, and so anybody who has been with the Bucs that year is going to want to come back. Okay, the last signing, or really the last trade that has been really impactful in the NFL has to be Matt Ryan, the longtime Atlanta Falcons quarterback, has been traded to the Indianapolis Colts for a 3rd rounder. The Falcons, as I stated, they were also in the Deshaun Watson bidding war, and so obviously Matt Ryan found out about that. This is also an example of the Falcons looking to rebuild. They're willing to trade their franchise quarterback and focus on rebuilding and making a new team. And it especially helps that Marcus Mariota has signed with the Atlanta Falcons on a 2-year deal, reuniting him with his old offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith, who, as you know, is the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. He had been the offensive coordinator for the Titans for 2 years, and in both those times, he has taken the Titans to the playoffs with the help of Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry. So now we're just going to have to see how Matt Ryan is going to be able to work with the Indianapolis Colts. Frank Wright is a good offensive coordinator. He has done a great job with Andrew Luck. He did a good job with Carson Wentz. Matt Ryan still has a lot of years left in him. He has 3 years left on his current contract. So the Colts are going to try their best to build what they can with Ryan in hopes of reaching the playoffs and winning a Super Bowl. All right, guys, before I go, let's have a little bit of fun. So Baker Mayfield is probably not going to stay with the Browns, meaning that he's probably going to have to go to another team. Who do you think the Browns will trade him to? He could go to Seattle, who are in need of a quarterback, as is Houston, the New York Giants, if they are not fully committed to Daniel Jones. Or what about the Carolina Panthers, who are in need of a quarterback as well? Let me know in the comments below who you think Baker Mayfield will go to, and I will see you guys next time.